Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, we're 3 days away from the update. I can't wait, I'm excited, but make sure you are prepared, because the shadow that we've all been waiting for, TUSK, he is going to be making his appearance with the June update. And so with that, if you guys want to know the stats in terms of the amount that is required, so you need 100 to unlock him. So when it comes to promotion, of course, once you spend 100 to unlock him, to furthermore progress the character, as you guys can see, common to elite 150, and then elite to knight 250 and onwards. Of course, it does get a little bit expensive now. It's knight on what you need to get them to unlock their exclusive skill, so bear that in mind, of course. In terms of percentage wise, it's a decent increase, I would say. However, with TUSK himself, I don't know to what extent we can actually get the percentage increase for this for this shadow in particular. But season 1, as we're all aware, is now complete, so hopefully you guys did also manage to get your times in. No matter what it is, just make sure you get your time in, as I always say, so you can at least very minimally guarantee yourself, was it the plus 20? Where am I going? I am clicking everything. So yeah, the first phase is done. All the rewards are now gifted out, of course, so as you guys can see, this is one way of going about getting yourself a good amount of traces, depending on where you rank, of course. So, and it's done through the group ranking of, not the overall. So if you're in a group ranking where not many people are trying, then hey, you might have lucked out. So there we go. So make sure you claim all of that, so that way you can go ahead and spend it within the shop. Please spend these, do not save them. They are on limited time, so every season when you claim your medals, spend them, because they're going to be gone the next time around. Don't make the mistake I did when I was saving mine, and then when the global launch happened, all of the medal of time disappeared. I had like 2.5 or maybe a little bit more, 3k, somewhere around there. I had a lot, and yeah, I lost everything. So yeah, don't make that mistake. And so with that, of course, as I say, Traces of Shadow is a bit of a priority if you guys do want to help out on 1, unlocking TUSK if you need that, or 2, because you get 100, by the way, or 2, having enough to get one of your shadows ranked up to not only level up the power level, that also counts, by the way, for your overall power team, but also giving yourself that higher percentage. Now, so just before we get carried away, coming back to the timeline, it seems at the very beginning they were still leaning towards to follow this roadmap, which now makes sense, because obviously in May there was no call for them actually wanting to add a new shadow in, right? And if you look in June, a new shadow with a new hunter, which means the new weapon. Oh wait, a new shadow too. Ooh, back-to-back shadows. Oh, this is going to be a very interesting. Okay, so because here's the thing: when it comes to traces, you know, you can't. Well, you got to be wise with spending them on whether or not if you really need them. So let's actually talk furthermore on that. So here's TUSK himself. In common, this is the first stage of TUSK, by the way, because he's common. He's giving all your team members a core attack damage increase of 40%. And this is why I said that when we do rank him up, I'm curious to see on how far this goes. Is it going to stop at 50%? I'm feeling it might stop at 60%. I'm feeling the 60% mark. I take that back. 70%. Well, close enough. Damn, that is a lot though. That is a hell of a lot. 70%. That really is going to be putting core attacking characters on the map. And just in general, like, core attack is just going to be absolutely fantastic now. This might be something beautiful to actually cater to, potentially. But yeah, TUSK himself is officially going to be making his way in. Let's have a look. Does he have his... Oh, I think this is the additional skill that he gets. So 468% of the user's attack when using this skill applies the attack increase effect to all shadows. Increase attack by 30% for 10 seconds. Interesting. So tank provides the shield. Ah, there we go. Okay, I knew one of the shadows provide all effects to all shadows. So it seems that with TUSK, his effect is that he's increasing all attack on all shadows. That could be something beautiful in terms of, you got to keep in mind when we apply shadows to our teams, we're taking 3 of them, right? So if you've got Tusk, so I mean, the way I'm going to be going about it, to be honest, is I'll take Tusk, get that effect applied, so that way Blade and Igris are both getting that 100% kicking in, along with the minions. You've got to also give that one. Oh, that's fantastic. Hold on a minute. Okay, Tusk is cooking. Now, this is going to be a tough one, because here's the thing. Originally, I was going to be like, look, is it really worth putting time into Tusk right now? Now that we've got 2 shadows potentially dropping back to back, and of course with the July shadow, it could very well be an OC shadow. I think that's what a lot are kind of looking, or I think that's what it's leaning towards, right? An original shadow, just like how Blades are, of course. Not knowing what this next shadow is doing, but we know what Tusk is going to be available doing, and that is of course providing that core attack. Now originally I was going to go, I'll be like, look, I mean, if you haven't invested too much into Alicia, then maybe you can kind of, you know, be scot-free about investing furthermore into Tusk. But then it's like the core, I guess, strategy, meta, whatever, they are kind of pushing that a lot, with not just with Alicia, but with the Phoenix soul bow, with that how this is coming across. It is a bit of a core type weapon to maximize damage, of course, so that's another reason why Tusk is going to be a valuable shadow to have to support more with doing a lot more damage on Sung Jin Woo's side, I think, of course. Not only that, you can also effectively have fun with Tusk, and one of the weapons that I try and use a lot of in terms of core damage wise is the Huntsman, because of course, again, that weapon is, you know, the only weapon in terms of helping you out with breakage power, of course, and it's kind of like a default usage that I always tend to go with when I lead into the skill, when being the Judgment of Time, and then going with the core attack. So this is, out of all the Sung Jin Woo weapons that I have, the Huntsman is one of the ones that I utilize the core attack the most. So obviously that's also going to be another advantage of getting that plus 70% or 60% at the most, because again, I am going to level them up just a tad bit in terms of ranking. It's not only just weapons, of course. Obviously Alicia is going to be, she is the perfect candidate on when Tusk drops on who we're going to do testing with, so that's going to be a must. But other units that can also, I mean, well, all units technically can benefit from it, but units that can cater more to the core boosting side of things. So for example, Lim himself, this is another unit that can benefit himself from getting that extra bit of percentage going on, alongside with the extra core attack buff that he applies himself, of course. Another unit that you will pretty consistently could potentially use core attacks of, that I have personally in the past. Obviously Beast himself, another unit that will, I mean, because of course he already puts his attack speed up and basic attack damage up, of course, and that will always lead into his core attack popping off. And so if we can support that even furthermore on, then that's going to be actually really perfect for him. So I'm eager to see on how well that's going to play out in terms of, obviously, with all the attack buffs he provides himself, along with the crit buffs, just to kind of see where that core attack is going to be at. So that could be pretty solid. I mean, Cha Yen's core attack, I mean, isn't a percentage at a high rate, right? Yeah, I mean, you can see what Cha Yen's going to be cooking up. Because again, if you do have a weapon, increases the user's basic attack damage by 5%. When the user uses the basic attack skill, increases skill critical hit damage by 2%, stacking up to 6 times. So this is why whenever I do my combinations, I always try and spam the basic attack, which will always fall in line and leading into the core attack. So something that we could potentially cater to. Food for thought. We'll have to wait and see on that one with characters. And another thing, Mei Lin, we don't know what Mei Lin is cooking up right now. We have no, she's going to be dropping in 3 days time, and we have no idea what she's going to be doing. So I would not be surprised if they release her in some way or form to where she has something going on with her core attack. I would not be surprised. If anything, I'm expecting it at this point. To cater more to Tusk, I'm expecting it. Unless they want to give her something, well, unless they build her in a different way to where the next shadow supports her. That would be very interesting. I mean, that's kind of how Alicia's kind of worked out, right? Alicia dropped in May, and then obviously the shadow now coming along is going to be catering to her, along with others, of course. So that is going to be very interesting. But again, I highly do suggest to, at least if you can, just make sure you do get the initial copy, being just unlocking them. And then in terms of, I mean, because to be fair, 40% straight off the bat is actually pretty insane. If they choose to keep this as is, fair freaking play. So hopefully they do. Hopefully they don't change them. Hopefully they don't nerf it. Now, on the other hand, as I haven't mentioned, you can be patient about it. You know, at the end of the day, these aren't going anywhere. You know, it's not requiring you to summon, right? If you don't want to unlock Tusk, don't. If you guys want to wait until we find out what the next shadow is, then there is that. Because after that, as you guys can see, there is going to be a bit of a gap in terms of shadows. Because the July shadow is 100% an original shadow. A shadow that we haven't seen before, because in September we're not getting a new shadow, but the October shadow will more than likely be the Wyvern, aka Kaiser, of course, so Baron's Dragon or whatever, right? Well, what? Not Dragon, Wyvern, oh my god. So that will more than likely... Oh no, wait, there is a shadow happening in September. Okay, for a second there, I don't know why I was just looking at that, not thinking that didn't read as shadow. What? So the Wyvern will be coming in September, and then I think Beru will also... And then, yeah, Beru will be dropping in October. That's kind of like the schedule that I'm kind of thinking. And with what Alpha has found beforehand, we could get a Cerberus, we could get the Golem, we could get a Werewolf. Who knows what the new OC will be, the original OC that they've got cooking up in July. So again, if you want to hold put, wait to see if it's worth actually picking up Tusk. Please do that. It just really depends on how you're looking on traces. I will just say that, of course. But as of right now, if you guys wanted to know, like in my opinion, the two precious shadows that majority are just keeping, well, keep working on, should I say, is Igris as well as Blades, because Blades realistically all attack increase, Igris crit increase. It's just two of the basics to kind of work on, of course. So yeah, make sure that you're keeping these boys on top. But in terms of core, I mean, realistically, if you don't have too much going on with core, then at that point I would say suggest save for the OC that's coming out in July, because I'm actually eager to see what that unit is going to be bringing to the table. So we've got increased crit, increased attack, increased HP, increased defense, increased core attack. What could the July shadow be bringing in?